Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Pleb Underground. Already a great start to the week. I am not muted. Let's dive into the signal without the slop. Here we go. 2025. It's kind of interesting. In 2024, everybody was talking about how big the bull market's going to be in 2025. Myself as well, right? I'm not reflecting on others, not trying to be a hypocrite. Myself as well. But guess what? The mood has changed. The mood is different. 2025 was the bear market. You gotta love being a human. It's good times. Yeah, we're gonna dive into all the reasons why 2025 was actually the bear market, and we're setting up for the just massive bull run. We've got Fidelity making insane claims. This time it's different. Schwab is going to join the party. They're going to offer Bitcoin and crypto trading. We've also got JP Morgan further knee bending, also joining the party. What happened to those options that were going to expire on Friday, right? December 26th. Supposed to be huge. $48 billion. Massive candle. 118. No, we're going to take a look at that because that story's also changed, right? That's what happens. The stories change. Banks are buying Bitcoin. Oh my gosh. We're going to dive into that. Russia's tug of war over a power plant. We're going to take a look at that story as well. And we're also going to take a look at the trust wallet stuff. Guys, you know the deal, though. Before we do all the fun stuff, we're going to give a shout out to the Pleb Underground sponsor, Archimedes Emporium. And we are going to be right back to dive into all these stories. Let's go. Pleb Underground is sponsored by Archimedes Emporium. Discover the pinnacle of precision engineering, starting with their Bitcoin logo wall clock, meticulously machined in Maine from a solid block of aerospace-grade aluminum, ensuring unparalleled durability and performance. Experience the difference of a product made without compromise. Head on over to Archimedes Emporium. All right, we are bringing back time chain stats. This is what happens when you get old and you get stuck in your routines, right? It's difficult to kind of move out of them, but hey, we're bringing it back. We're going to start off with the block height once again. That's right, time chain stats from Ant, and here we go, guys. The block height is 930,041. We've got 5,782 Bitcoin on public Lightning nodes. We have no idea what's in the private channels. We have no insight into that whatsoever. And one sat per VByte. 1 sat per VByte. Really cheap to be transacting on the Bitcoin network these days. Okay, let's dive into the stories, guys. Let's dive into the stories. We're going to start it off with some Plan C Hopium. That's right, guys. Like I said, 2025 was the bear market. We got fooled. We all got fooled. Anyway, so if you made it through 2025, you made it through the bear market. I don't know if I've ever seen a bear market go from what was it like? I got to go back and check what we started 2024 at. But yeah, 15K all the way up to 126K in the matter of 2 years. I don't know if I don't know if that was really a bear market. Anyways, I'm not an expert, right? I'm not an expert. I have no creds. But yeah, guys, this is the yearly candles, right? This is a yearly candle chart. And as you can see, each and every one of these is 1 year of price action. And I got to tell you, this kind of skinny little wick that we did over here all the way at the end on the right, it's red. There was some profit taking this year. There was definitely some profit taking. But I got to tell you, didn't seem to pull down as much as previous markets. Maybe Plan C has something with this. Maybe this is doing something for my Hopium. Just maybe. Anyways, of course, further solidification of these points. The Bitcoin cycle is clearly different from every previous Bitcoin cycle. And we talked about this last week, guys. It's fantastic how it's funny how when we find one chart and it can somewhat make sense, we gravitate towards this. It's, oh, wait a second, this could be the reason why we didn't pump as hard as we could have. right? So guess what, guys? There's no 4-year cycles, right? And it's all just tied to the business cycle. And we talked about this last week, showed the chart for this last week, and now we're getting more traction on this, right? That more people are buying into the idea that it's the business cycle. Sounds good. Keeps my hopium going, right? Hey, Plastic, how's it going? Happy holidays to you too. Merry Christmas. Going to be Happy New Year's in a couple of days. Tonight, we are doing our Bye-Bye 2025 episode of Bitcoin Tonight. Yeah, now we're not going through any articles or anything like that. It's just going to be high-level topics, high-level conversation. As you guys know, we've got the live chat. If you want to join in, you're more than welcome to. Ask questions, make fun, whatever you want. It's good times. Anyways, all right, this time it's different. The business cycle is saving us. Okay, I'll buy it. Buy that for $1. All right, now, you guys remember this? I was showing this account. This was the guy that was talking about the options expiry, how $48 billion of options were going to expire on December 26th. That was going to kick off our next bull run and all that stuff. And the magnet pulling us to 118 and gamma squeeze. Yeah, all right, here we go, guys. Tactical delay. Why the failed breakout is actually a more compressed and bullish spring and the path to year end. Is he talking about year end 2026? Because I got to tell you, I totally appreciate this hopium, right? I appreciate 219K. I'd love to see this happen in the next 2 days, right? The next 3 days. Why not? I just don't buy it. Now, maybe you can say, Phil, you're a bear. You don't understand Bitcoin. That's fine too. I just don't buy it. Anyways, on December 26th, the market expected massive volatility to release. Well, no, actually, you expected that. So I didn't personally expect that. I would have been happy to see it, but I didn't expect it. Anyways, if gamma expired, instead, price remained flat. Now it's time to find a reason. This was not a failure of the bull market. I thought we were just in a bear market. Wasn't that plan C? Just doesn't matter. It was a mechanical repressurization event. That made me feel good. A mechanical repressurization event. I'm sorry, guys. Here's the mathematical reason why the market didn't break. Why it is currently coiling and why it leads to a year end of 219. Bro, you got 3 days. Good luck with that. Anyways, why the release valve jammed? The great December roll. The volatility explosion failed to materialize for one specific reason. Traders didn't leave the table. They just bought more time. Instead of letting positions expire, which unpins the price, the market executed a massive coordinated roll. Just listen. Institutional players sold the expiring December contracts and aggressively bought the January contracts. That's right, because they don't believe the run is over and we're going higher. The result, the dealer short gamma exposure didn't vanish. It was simply transferred 35 days into the future. All right. So does that put us at like February 5th? Something like that? Or puts us at like right at the end of January? I don't know. Anyways, let's dive into the numbers here. So the old trap was on December 27th. Actually, he had been mentioning he was on December 26th, but who's paying attention to the dates? It doesn't matter. Gamma has withered to 17 million. The pin is gone here. That's a shame. Gamma has swelled. The new trap, January 30th. Okay, there we go. We got our dates. January 30th, the gamma has swelled to 93 million. All right, so now it's not just the fiat system that kicks the can. It is also the Bitcoin chart. We're kicking the can down to January 30th. That's when we're going to the moon. Why is this bullish? Paying rent to wait. I gotta tell you, I'm not going to disagree with this point. If the market were bearish or exhausted, traders would have taken the liquidity event on December 25th to cash out. They didn't. Conclusion, this wasn't a failed breakout. It was a kinetic loading phase. The market is compressing the spring tighter rather than letting it release prematurely because we're doing this repressurization event. That's good times. All right. Why this compression? This can't hold forever, right? Will this keep happening every month? I mean, it would just assume that they could just keep doing this, right? The market can't perpetually roll this position. Maintaining a price pin against fundamental inflows requires energy, capital, and willing counterparties. Yes, indeed, traders. The physics of the options market guarantees this suppression mechanism will eventually break. The path to 226K. All right, so we were going to see 219. in 3 days. Now we're on the path to 226K. I like where this is going. It's just up. This is fantastic. And it's the beach ball effect. This is one of my favorites. It's one of my favorite analogies, right, of the market. It's great. The market feels dead because implied volatility, 28%, is crushed with open interest, 276 billion at record highs. This is the definition of a mechanical coil. The release, 90K to 226, stage 1, the squeeze. Breaking 90K forces dealers to panic buy Bitcoin to hedge. This drives price to 100K to 110 in days. Apparently 3 days to be exact. The vacuum above 110. There's almost no sell side liquidity. So there's, I just want to understand. So right now there's a whole bunch of sellers here in the 80K range, in the 90K range. But for some reason, when we get above 110, no one wants to sell their Bitcoin. Tell me more. With the suppression removed, Bitcoin reprices to match the accumulated ETF inflows. The target of 219K aligns with the power law projections for late 2026. All right, this is all making sense. The coil, the repressurization, it's the power law. And it's accelerated by the catch-up from the suppression period. All right, guys, here we go. The December roll bought the bears 35 more days. All right, you hear that, bears? You've got 35 more days. All the guys who sold their Bitcoin or who have claimed to sell their Bitcoin in the 118K range in the last few months that are now cheering because they think that they did the right thing. You only have 35 days, okay? But it guaranteed that the eventual move will be vertical. The spring is now more compressed. That's right, because of the repressurization mechanism. This made me feel really good. I don't know about you guys, but I'm pumped. Hey guys. All right, sorry, we're just gonna go over to the comments. Hey, French Hodl, what's happening? Yeah, I know. Thanks. The Global Macro says, dude, look, this guy's got charts. He's talking about compression. I mean, and the coil, the gamma squeezes, all making me feel great. I feel great. Anyways, yeah. French Hodl, absolutely. You are welcome. I love doing this. And I can tell, right? I can tell by the number of viewers that not too many people appreciate that I do this, but frankly, I don't give a fuck. So that's the best part, right? That is the best part of all of this. I just want to talk about Bitcoin. And damn it, we live in a day and age where we can just talk about whatever the hell we want. And yeah, it's good times. All right. So yeah, French Hodl, totally. I love doing it. We love doing it. We're going to continue doing it, even if nobody wants to. That's fine. Somebody actually has to tell the truth about Bitcoin. Yeah, me too. 0 fucks given. All right, let's keep going. Let's keep going here. I appreciate you guys. Thank you, Plastic. I appreciate it. Okay. All right, here we go. Here we go. Hey, thanks, Michael. I appreciate you too. Yeah, seriously. Look, I know what it's like, right? We're all human beings, right? We all watch a whole lot of content. It's incredibly challenging, right? To essentially to get people to give you their time and their attention. So when that happens, it's humbling. That simple for me, right? It's a humbling thing because I know what it's like when I give my attention to somebody, and it's because I genuinely want to give it to them. So I really do appreciate it, guys. Okay, I'll shut up. Let's keep going. We've got, here we go. We're hearing rumors. The major banks in the US will start to buy Bitcoin, custody Bitcoin, and issue credit against native Bitcoin assets in the first half of 2026. That's right. It's from Michael Saylor. We are not surprised one bit. Let's hear what the news has to say about this.
And clients to pledge Bitcoin and Ether as collateral for loans. Leslie Picker is joining us now with details. Hi, Leslie.
Hey, Morgan. Yeah, and chatting with sources familiar with the matter, I'm told it's still early days. And for now, the concept is limited to the firm's trading business. JP Morgan's trading business has, for a few months now, accepted IBIT, the ETF, as a form of collateral, which it sees as less volatile as the underlying currency. However, I'm told that certain hedge fund managers and asset managers are demanding more of these types of crypto services. Although, again, I'm told that offering Bitcoin and Ether as collateral for trading is not imminent at the firm. While many remember, as you
Not imminent. Oh, it's a little bit different messaging than what we got last week.
mentioned, Morgan, Jamie Dimon's comments about Bitcoin being, say, a pet rock, he has moderated his tone recently.
Yeah, we're not surprised. We are not surprised one bit. Look, they don't have a choice. They don't have a choice. Now, the amazing thing about the attempt, right? I call this an attempt because, of course, it's, part of the larger game theory of Bitcoin that the banks, right, obviously are going to attempt to, because they can't co-opt Bitcoin. However, they can do their best to co-opt the environment. And as long as we play with Bitcoin according to, I guess we'll just say institutions and the bank's rules, then they're happy, right? We treat Bitcoin as this, like Jamie Dimon said, like a pet rock, right? We treat Bitcoin like that, keep it aside. Don't use it. And when I say don't use it, I mean, don't transact in it, right? They don't want you to. And this is something I've said many, many times, right? There's different Bitcoin, the assets. There's Bitcoin, the asset that Wall Street is pitching. That's a totally different Bitcoin. That has nothing to do with censorship resistance. That has nothing to do with the fucking Bitcoin network, with the nodes, with any of that stuff. Okay? That is shenanigans. All that is illusion and financial engineering or financial alchemy, whatever the hell you want to call it. And then there's actual Bitcoin, the token that functions using Bitcoin, the network. Completely different. Anyways, we are not surprised by any of this. It's just par for the course, right? Look at that. Charles Schwab to launch spot Bitcoin and crypto trading for its 46 million clients. Again, we'll see when this all takes place.
Working on a plan to launch spot crypto in the next 12 months, ideally this year, but in the next 12 months. We have lots of ways for clients to get invested in crypto. They can buy the ETFs, and again, we're the #1 destination for doing that. They can buy Bitcoin futures. They can buy closed-end funds, which track the price changes of crypto. So there's lots of ways to get invested, and we have education around that. And
you can't help but think that they're going to institutions are going to try to pull the price down as much as possible before all of those services launch. The other argument could be because also, right, if that gets done, then that could sour people's attitudes for the market. So there's a good possibility that there might be like a massive exuberant type of pump to draw attention and bring eyeballs in. So anyways, we're paying attention, definitely paying attention. I can't help but think, I was talking about this last night, I can't help but think that the banks essentially and the institutions, their only tool at this point is to offer yield on stable coins because they can't do anything with Bitcoin. Not what they want to do with it anyways. So yeah, I think there's going to be a massive push for that. I think that's why we're seeing this ridiculous regulation about stable coins not being taxed for capital gains on something that's pegged to the dollar. Like, what? So the only way that there would be any type of capital gain, from my understanding, with a stable coin would be through yield. So is that the direction they're going to go in? I don't know. We're still in the then they fight you stage, guys. I mean, I was saying this, already like 5 years ago. The then they fight you stage. It's like, I know that some people were ready to cheer and say that, no, we're already in the then we won stage. Not even close. Okay. We're not even close to the, that we won. We're still in the then they fight you. The stable coins, the IMF, the World Economic Forum. This is all part of the resistance. All right. And that's right, guys. The icing on that cake about the banks coming to the table, right? This post here from Austin Hilton. Just when they finished dumping the crypto market, Charles Schwab, Vanguard, and Bank of America all magically launched crypto trading for their clients in the same week. What an absolute wild, totally random coincidence. Indeed. Indeed it is. I'm not 100% sure if they're done dumping the market, though, or attempting to, right? Yeah, exactly. Man, it's amazing how that happens, right? It's so cool. Yeah. Yeah, the new shitcoin spot crypto. Oh, that's ridiculous. Hey, Andy. Yes, everybody had an awesome Christmas. I hope everybody got the gifts that they wanted. I am one of those people who leaves the ornaments out on the lawn. I got to tell you, it's one of those things where I feel it's like depressing when you remove them, right? It's like, because especially in Florida, like there's no snow, right? So you don't have any kind of light reflecting anywhere. So like once you get rid of all the lights, it all just looks depressing and crappy. So yeah, I like the lights. Keeps the mood going, keeps the mood. Okay. Anyways, sorry, I'm in a chatty mood today. Okay, let's talk about this whole thing that's happening in Russia. I know of course, Bitcoin is right, framing it as like this good thing for Bitcoin, but what does it really indicate? President Putin said that the USA is interested in utilizing, if you ever saw Idiocracy, utilize. Anyways, Europe's largest nuclear facility, ZNPP, for crypto mining. Russia forces seized ZNPP, Europe's largest nuclear facility, in March 2022. So that's right. So they seized it. It's not theirs. Okay, just to have an idea of what's happening here, right? It's actually Ukraine's power plant, right? But Russia seized it, and now they're in talks with the US to use it for mine. You ever get that feeling, right? That you just like, he's like Ralph Wiggum. I genuinely, sometimes I equate Zelensky to Ralph Wiggum. He just gets left out there. That's brutal. All right. So Vladimir Putin said that the United States and Russia are negotiating joint control of I'm not even going to try to pronounce that word, nuclear power plant ZNPP without Ukraine's participation. Okay, I will. Zaporizhzhia? Yeah, maybe. Anyways, the ZNPP, Europe's largest nuclear facility, provided roughly 20% of Ukraine's electricity before the war. Located near Enerhodar on the Dnipro River's left bank. The plant was seized by Russian forces in March 2022 at the start of the full-scale invasion. All right. Now, it's been a little while since they've had it. Zelensky said, this is where it gets weird, that the U.S. had proposed a three-party management system for the plant, with Washington in the lead, while Ukraine wants to exclude Russia, right? So there's a bit of a pissing match, right? So Ukraine wanted to exclude Russia. Obviously, Russia wants to exclude Ukraine and operate the facility on equal footing with the U.S. The plan also envisions freezing the front line in Zaporizhzhia, meaning the ZNPP would remain under Russian military control if peace is signed. So even if this all gets squared away, it just seems like Ukraine still gets the shaft. Interesting. It kind of sucks when it reminds me of that Seinfeld episode where George Costanza's talking about having hand. Zelensky has no hand. he's got no hand. Like that could be the issue, and they're just taking his resources from him. Now, that power plant, though, in all fairness, is has all kinds of regulations. It's failing all kinds of safety tests. It shouldn't even be running anyways. So, yeah, that's a whole other issue. So we should pay attention if they turn on that power plant, right? We should pay attention because that thing should not be running. Anyways, all right, the trust wallet stuff, guys. I mean, we're all Bitcoiners. Do I have to explain the whole thing? I mean, if you're using Trust Wallet and you're a Bitcoiner, then number one, you're probably more of a shitcoiner than you are a Bitcoiner. And number two, don't use Trust Wallet. All these browser-based, like these extension-based wallets. I mean, having covered, I don't know how many countless hacks at this point, those are the most unsafe things you can use. So many times have there been breaches, and this is not the first breach for Trust Wallet. So it's almost like the kid that burns their hand on the stove over and over again. Like, how many times you need to do that? You don't need to keep burning yourself. If you're lucky, you don't even need to learn it once, right? Anyways, all right, let's dive into it. So As we know, Trust Wallet browser extension may have been compromised via supply chain attack on December 24th. Reports indicate that importing a seed phrase into the extension can result in immediate wallet draining. Never, guys, just don't bother. Don't bother importing your seed phrase. Just remember this. If you can lose everything by doing this one thing, then there is no doubt what not to do, which is don't do it. Just don't do it. Anyways, do not use the Trust Wallet extension for now and never import a seed phrase until an official clarification and fix are released. Or don't use Trust Wallet at all because it's a shitcoin wallet. And this is what happens over and over again. I mean, like, look, even when it comes to Trezor, right? Trezor supports shitcoins if you're not using their Bitcoin only firmware. And there's always, the leak is always on the shitcoin side all the time. It's always a problem with the shitcoin code. Anyways, we've identified a security. This is from Trust Wallet, guys. So they did acknowledge it next day, right? They did acknowledge it. We've identified security incident affecting Trust Wallet browser extension 268. Users with browser extension 268 should disable and upgrade to 269. We've confirmed that approximately $7 million has been impacted, and we will ensure all affected users are refunded. Yeesh. So all you did was build an extension, and now you're on the hook for their funds. So here was the, I think this is the final post on this one. Update on the Trust Wallet browser extension incident. Here we go. So if you were using this and you are to be compensated, here you go, guys. To start the compensation process, affected users should please complete this form to help us process your case. Our support team is prioritizing all the victims from the incident and has already begun reviewing submissions. We apologize and acknowledge that this situation has been frustrating and disruptive. We are working around the clock to finalize the compensation process details, and each case requires careful verification to ensure accuracy and security. You know, it's kind of ironic, but if they really, really cared about accuracy and security, maybe they wouldn't have supported shitcoins. I don't know. Just maybe. Just maybe. Who knows? Whew. Damn. Oh, here we go. Got some comments here from Plastic. Let's take a look. Yeah, it's true, right? So, okay, so I'm not crazy. The house always looks, it always looks empty after the decorations are removed. All right. Let's see. Yeah, Plastic. I'm going to agree with you on this. I think it's also fake news. The whole like Ukraine thing with with Russia and the U.S. fighting over this power plant. And again, like I said, if you know anybody who did a little digging into that article, they can't turn on that power plant anyways. Okay, there's so much work that has to be done. So to your point, I think it's just fluff. You know, but hey, we take a picture of Putin. Take a picture of the Bitcoin logo, we slap them together, boom. Bitcoin adoption is happening. You know? Yeah, exactly, Plastic. Do not use the extensions. Do not use the extensions. Yeah, I don't think I definitely don't think that he's too good for doing the candy. I'm sure he's an enjoyer of the candy. Anyways, all right, guys, that is going to do it for this daily episode of Pleb Underground. Don't forget, another reminder, super annoying, tonight, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Myself, Humble Warrior, Sir Ulrich, bye-bye 2025. Don't miss it. We're going to be live. Have a great rest of the day. I'll catch you soon.